Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida Ali, and my fabulous co-host Tracy.
AKA Barbie.
Okay, Barbie. Okay, are you Black Barbie or just Barbie?
Oh, I'm Black
We've been doing
Barbie.
it. Okay, all right. So, like,
I'm black and braided Barbie.
that's what I like. That's what I like. Black and braided Barbie. All right. What made you wear the Barbie shirt today? Just
I
feeling.
was looking for a shirt for the audience. I like to give you a little entertainment, some eye candy to look at. So, but this is a go-to. This is like a staple. Can y'all see the Black Barbie?
Oh no, we couldn't see it. Stand up. Okay, you just
Oh,
gotta put
can
your
you
boobs
see her?
right in my face. Yeah, back it up. Back it
But
up.
but 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 but
Oh, I
Black
love
Barbie.
it. I love it. Oh, okay. No, we can't really see. All we see is Barbie,
Well, I
the
had to show you. It's a documentary. It's on Netflix. We wouldn't even plan to talk about that, but there's a documentary about Black Barbie.
Oh, okay. All right. I gotta see that. Do they mention Christy Love in the documentary?
I have not watched it, but
Oh, okay.
I do plan to watch it. I was too busy watching other stuff.
There's a
But
whole lot of stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff and there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And there's a whole lot going on in Rhode Island right now. So we're gonna
hmm
like kick that off really quick
let's
to get
bust
stuck
that.
in.
Let's
Yeah.
bust it out.
So what are we starting with first? Restaurant.
So, Restaurant Week continues. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's 2 weeks. It started last week and it ends this week on July the 20th. So, go ahead and go to goprovidence.com website. Check out the restaurants that are available. We'll be posting some more information. Shahida and I are going to try to sneak off to a couple of those places and let you know how the restaurants are. But it's a good way to support local business.
And I've been getting a lot of emails from restaurants too. I guess, saying that it is restaurant week, please come
Yeah.
in, try X, Y, and Z. So I haven't decided on what I want, but it's not part of restaurant week, but I did try Yaz chicken on
They're
Thursday.
pretty good.
I d- and so it was the night that I went to Amaziah the Great's movie preview on what was it called? At the Avon Theater. So I went
Yes.
there before and it was like 6 o'clock. So I got their basic chicken sandwich, because I'm basic, I'm sorry. Basic chicken sandwich and some French fries. The sandwich was delicious, but I literally only had 3 bites. It was huge. And 6 o'clock, it was a little bit too early for me to eat dinner when I had such a big lunch earlier. Usually, if I have a big lunch, I'm not gonna have like dinner of that kind of proportion. But it was actually pretty good. I've
Yeah, we
heard a lot of
ordered.
stuff about it, and that was the first time I had gone.
And it's different. It's fun. It's in the college area. So you went to the one on Thayer, right?
I went to yeah, Thayer Street.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the college area. There are a lot of fun restaurants over there. You got to keep the kids entertained, the college students. So we've definitely ordered from there and it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And so I did go to the 48-hour movie project that Amaziah the Great did. He did a poem called The Jamaican Poet. He did a short film. It's like 7, 8 minutes called The Jamaican Poet. Your son, Noah, was actually in it. But I was very impressed by all the films. It
hmm
takes a lot. That's a lot of work in 48 hours, but also to come up with the idea and then put it out there for everyone to see, and then to actually have something that you did show in an actual theater.
Yeah, it was
Very
like,
impressive.
honestly, I would think nothing less of Craig. Like, Craig's trajectory right now was so like he's skyrocketing. So
Mhm,
it's not even a wonder to me. It's just like, okay, trying to keep up with him because he's
mhm,
just doing so many great things. And then I guess they had like a voting process, and
mhm.
then the final films are going to be viewed at another event later on. So we'll give more details on that.
And you have the opportunity, the actual winner, I guess national winner can show their film in cons. So that
Crazy.
did not know that. So it was really good. I appreciated the invite, and I was, really impressed by all the movie creators that night. So, and there was some from other states as well. So,
Yeah, impressive, impressive. It was a fun activity. I'm glad I was part of it.
I know, did you get to see the whole thing yet?
I have not.
Okay, yeah,
I
it
have not.
was.
I'm trying to play catch up, girl. I'm trying to
Yeah,
play
I
catch
know
up,
you've
but
been out there. You've been out there.
I will definitely see it. What's next? You were talking about.
Fringe PVD.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's a festival here in Providence. It's, a festival with all kind of venues. It's like short stories, plays, stand-up comedy. So I've heard of it for years. I am going to try and make a couple of their presentations. It started today, July 14th to the 27th. So you have more than enough time to kind of like catch one of the acts. It runs from like either free to $20 for an event. You can actually buy an individual ticket, or you can get a festival pass. So I'm probably going to do an individual ticket because I don't know which one I'm going to. And you can actually go online to fringepvd.org to see what their lineup is. But they have many performances. There's over I think fifty performances by artists from 15 different states. So that is something to, go and look into. And like I said, it's from the 14th to the 27th. So, and that's every day,
That's
every
that's
day.
a lot of
Yeah.
programming.
And it's I think it starts around noon and ends about 10 p.m. And so it's basically all over Providence. So there's like different locations for each film or whatever. So it's a good idea to go and check it out.
Well,
And
I
that's
know what
Fringe PVD.
I'm definitely interested in that. I mean, with
Yeah.
all of those days of activities, there's got to be 1 or 2 days that I could sneak into. So I'm
Sneak
definitely
into. That's
looking.
exactly what I thought. Got to show up for once or two at least. So,
But I do know where I will be on
hmm
Tuesday night. She was like, "What's spill it." Okay,
Let
so
us know, sis.
so our good sis, the poetress, Charlene, who is a goddess. She is a boss here in Rhode Island, a Cape Verdean queen, if you will. She is kicking off something called the Artist Loft by the Collaborative. And that's going to be this Tuesday night, July 16th from 7 to 10 p.m. And it's going to be at Providence Brewery.
Yeah,
Okay, I said that with a question mark, like I didn't know,
I
but I am going to be pulling up
know.
Providence Brewery, and it's going to be not just poetry, not just visual art. It's going to be a mashup of all different art genres all together in one room. And this one is focused on BIPOC women, but she has more to come. So, I mean, if you've never been out, if you've never seen Charlene's poetry, please follow her. We're going to post her. We're going to reshare her event on our page, and you definitely have to follow her and watch her poetry because what she does, I've never seen anyone do poetry like her before.
Yeah, her career definitely have made me appreciate live poetry a lot more than I had in the past. And she does one, and I don't know, and it's a mixture of, I guess, the Cape Verdean language, but it's so mournful, and it
Is that
just
the one that she did at India Point?
so I didn't go to India Point. I don't
Okay,
know.
I saw a video, and it's like a little bit of like spiritual
Hmm.
sound
Hmm.
incorporated with poetry, and yeah, it's like mix of Cape Verdean Creole and
Hmm.
English. It's just she
I
just
think,
does
yeah,
something to you when you hear her poetry.
that one specifically. I don't know the name, and I've seen her do it live twice. So it might be the same one that she did at India. And I feel like no matter where she goes, she has to do that poem every time because it is that good.
And
But
it's new every time. Every time I hear it, it's different. I
hmm
get something different out of it.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it really touches the soul. So skipping out of the arts, there is something. There's two story. Oh, what?
We forgot two things. So
What?
we forgot to mention that Nas will be here. this Saturday, and Miss Pat, the comedian, will be here this Friday and Saturday. So Miss Pat, she's got a show on BT Plus. She's a huge comedian. Her life story is wild. If you ever get a chance to read her bio, her autobiography, grab it. Please pick it up. Please read it. This lady's life is insane. So she's going to be here at Comedy Connection Friday, Saturday, and Nas will be here with the Rhode Island Philharmonic on Saturday. So totally forgot those two things when we were talking earlier, but
Mhm.
if you can make it out, people, if you can grab a ticket, please do. Miss Pat, I believe, has 4 shows.
Oh, okay, good for her. Good for her. I haven't watched. I did watch. I don't have BET Plus, but I did catch one of the free episodes that they offered on Amazon one time. But so it would be interesting. I haven't been to the Comedy Connection in a while, and might think about it. Might
You
think
know, I
about
stay posted up in the Comedy Connection. That's my spot.
So I haven't been in a while. So there were two stories that I got from the Providence Journal this week. One is about about Roger Williams University and this program that they are offering to officers in New England on how to de-escalate or diffuse crises and situations so that they won't spiral out of control, which I have to say is very good. It's something that they should learn in the academy before they're on the streets, and it's something that should be continuous in their line of work. I mean, like, I don't know about you, but we're constantly taking tests and doing, other things to keep us abreast of
Yeah,
the field of
continuing
climate.
education. Like,
So they definitely should have this, but this is a program that Roger University is, offering. And a few of the officers, well, one of the officers that was interviewed at the Providence Journal, he said it has helped them build trust in the community. And we've talked about this plenty of times about officers need to be able to know the people in the community and build that trust and actually knowing how to speak to a person, read their body language. That's one of the officers said, read their body language so that they know exactly how they might need to proceed with a person. But one of the most important things that I read in the article was that it says it also helps them to understand and guard against their own potential triggers in volatile situations, because 9 times out of 10 a civilian is going to react to the energy of the cop. So
mhm.
if the cop comes in with good energy, not saying all situations require that because some are very scary. But if a cop comes in with good energy, 9 times out of 10, you're still going to be irritated, but you're going to try and match that energy. Whereas if a cop comes in with extremely bad energy and dehumanizing people, damn, I can't even speak. I'm tired, y'all. I got a migraine. It's like crazy. But if that's the case, then that's when problems escalate and that's when things get out of control, especially when you're dealing with young men, because no matter what, even though they should be respecting police officers, you have to speak to them like they're men, not like they're children, not like they're, your ward, not like they're puppies you have to speak to them like they're young men. There's a level of respect that both need. And definitely cops should have that respect up here, but they should also meet the respect for the people in the community. So I'm really impressed by this offering from Roger Williams University.
Yeah, I think it's much needed. It should be part of the academy with all of the issues going on with police brutality, police violence. Like, why has there not been a major overhaul and revamp for all the curriculum, like you said, at the academy level? Like, you're bringing in people, some of them have like military grade training. So some of them, I don't know if they get that level. They're shoot to kill in the military. You know what I mean? That's like, they're not shooting to disable. Not that police should be shooting people, period. Like, can we not shoot people? Can we just try to get laws, abided by without the extreme ridiculousness that's going on? I mean, I understand if you're being shot at, that's one thing. But if some unarmed, the amount of unarmed people that are being injured and hurt by police officers who have
Who are
bulletproof
running
vests,
away.
guns, stun guns. They got these little things in California that, have you seen it? It's like this thing that they shoot out and then it's like a lasso. Have you seen that new?
Oh, no, no.
So they're testing that apparently in California. It's like some kind of uh device. They shoot it and it basically wraps around you like a lasso and then you fall to the ground, which is, that's fucked up too. But I mean, it's not shooting someone.
No, no. I mean, I would prefer that over, being shot or definitely killed. But I hadn't, you say that, and I'm like picturing Wonder Woman girl.
But it is
Like the
so
lasso of
fast.
truth.
It is so fast. The way this thing shoots out and it just like whoop 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 whoop. And that's exactly what it's like. It's like Wonder Woman, like and you're just
So, and speaking of that, I'm actually Googling right now that there was a woman in Alabama who called the police because she thought there was an intruder in her home. So she
mm-hmm.
called them at midnight, and they came, and this was 2 weeks ago, and shot her in the head. So there's like some miscommunication or whatever. But again, how did the cops assess the situation where the person who called for help gets shot in the head and killed?
And this has happened way too many times. It has happened way too many times. And it's like, so how do you defend yourself? Then people are running out to get, gun licenses. And honestly, there are people out here with gun licenses that do not need them because they don't feel like they're being protected by law enforcement. So they're trying to take the law into their own hands. I'm like, the people, I mean, so many people are carrying right now. Like the numbers are astronomical, especially I feel like in our community. I know in the South, things are a little bit different. A lot of people carry down there, but I'm noticing more and more Northerners are carrying. Like I know a
Yeah,
couple, they
yeah.
both carry and they literally like have like the scope thing, or not a scope, but like the beam
Oh, I know what you're.
on their guns, and they said that every time they enter their home they use that beam and they go around the house. I'm like, I wouldn't want to live like that.
Wow, I would not want to live like that either. That is, but that's where we've gotten, and that's so depressing. Like, but wow, I have never heard anything like that. That's, I don't want to say insane, but it's
It
next
was a little
level.
cuckoo to me, but I mean,
I'm
listen,
like, they're your friend.
I
I
don't
didn't want
know,
to call it out, so I was just like, I'll let you say it.
I didn't
You
know
say it.
what the history was. Maybe they came home and somebody was in the crib. I don't know. So I can't say, to me it sounded extreme. It sounded a little bit off the hook, but I don't know what their history is or why they've gotten to that level, but
And again, I'm going to say it. We say it all the time when we talk about police. They have a tough job, which to me is crazy how they don't advocate more to get guns off the streets.
mhm.
I mean, I'm even talking like legal guns off the street, carrying them around. Why do you need to carry a gun if you have good police officers? Now, in your home, a whole different story. If that's going to make you feel safer because people do break in your homes or whatever, I get it. But just running out to the store, to Walmart, to CVS, you need to strap up. And then those states where they have open carry, where they're just like walking around with,
Mhm.
big ass guns and rifles. I don't understand that mentality where you can say that you believe in society and then at the same time, you want to walk around obviously in fear all the time if you're going to have to carry a gun with you all the time. But and the people that stoke them to have to walk around and you're a tough guy with the gun or whatever, the states that they live in like New York have tough gun laws. They can't do the same things that you do in Ohio.
Mhm.
But they are scaring you into doing that. And then at the same time, they're going to say that New York has more crimes than Ohio, which is not true.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm so glad Roger Williams came out with this program. I feel like it's much needed. Hopefully, it's a pilot that if they find it successful, they can carry it on to other law enforcement, criminal justice trainings and universities.
One
So,
thing I'm going to look up because I heard this, and I know that to become a police officer in the United States, I think it's like an 18-month program. It's not very long. Where somebody said it takes you longer to go to school, to barbering school or hairdressing school, than it does to actually become a cop. And if
mm,
that's the case, that is sad. That is sad because in places like Poland, it's 2 years, 2 to 3 years that they train their officers. And so in that training is something, of course, that's going to be like this: how to read people's body language, how to de-escalate a situation, how do you speak to people. They train cops to be like slave drivers.
hmm
We've
well, that
seen
was I mean, that's the root
it
of
is.
American policing. So,
It is. It's very upsetting. So the other
and
story,
we do love we love good police. I want to just say that part.
good police.
We are
And
not
we
out
do it all
here.
the time. No one's anti-police. And
Nope.
don't come with us and be like, oh, next time you need somebody's breaking in your house, don't call the police. Call this person. No, I'm calling the police because I pay taxes for that. But a good cop, and I know a couple of very good
You
cops.
too. They're my family.
Mm-mm. And I know they're not in my family. I've been stopped a couple of times by some good cops for speeding a little bit too much. But it was the way they approached me. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you approach me respectfully, even though I know I was going over the speed limit and you give me a ticket, I'm mad at myself more than I'm mad at you.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Because you approach me like a human being and not like, how fucking fast you was going? Because that's how sometimes they approach people. What the
Yeah.
hell? What kind of energy is that? Don't bring that energy. You just do your job and bring it down, sir.
hmm
So,
And then you can live to tell another day. Cause you start getting froggy, then the person's gonna get froggy. Anything can happen.
yeah.
Like I don't think, and I don't know, but I would assume a lot of cops who get shot in the line of duty don't get shot because they were being cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Y'all can tell me otherwise, but I feel like things escalate and whatever.
Most of the time they do get shot and it's usually a shootout scene. But
Because right,
again,
it's a back
let's
and
get
forth.
the guns off the streets. You
Yeah.
should not want, as a police officer or any type of law enforcement person, you should not want a person to be able to buy a gun that has more caliber than what you are allowed to carry as a police officer.
Something that when you shoot it, the recoil will throw you back. Why is that needed on a civilian level?
No, not at all. So I don't understand why they are not the vocal point, the go-to for actual gun reform, and they're not, which is crazy to me.
Because there's such a fraternity, there's such a clique among the boys in blue. They have their own little codes and rules and laws and their secret society stuff. And I'm not saying
You
anything
have
that
that. You could
cops
have
don't know.
that, but I should not be able to have a gun that's 10 times the power of yours because
hmm
you are a cop. You have the job. And I understand the fraternity things, but you have a job to do. That's not my job. I'm not
Yeah.
protecting the neighborhood. So, regardless, I shouldn't have a better weapon than you. Why are you tapping me? What are you tapping me for?
That because I was getting a phone call.
Oh. She's like, shut up, Shahida. Shut up. No,
So
stop.
I have my phone on do not disturb, but I also have like the exception, so certain numbers can ring through even when I'm on do not disturb.
Okay, I got you.
So,
I got you.
the VIPs, but I
The
had to.
VIP. That's
But
fun.
anyway, to summarize, we love the program, we love good cops, we hate guns that are over the top, and we don't want to see this shit in our community.
And we don't want to see it in any community. We
Yes.
don't want to see it in any community. And I hope that it doesn't get even messier because the fact that we send our children to school and don't know what their situation is going to be at the end of the day because of guns, and that we have seen children get shot up in school for the past 20 years and no
Mm-hmm.
real reform has happened, makes America the shithole country.
Mm.
The other story that I read in the Providence Journal was about a group of Romanian nationals living on the West Coast. Now, Tracy and I dissected this just a little. So it says a group of these Romanian nationals living on the West Coast are accused of planting skimming devices. And this happened in
Westerly.
Warwick,
Mm-hmm.
stores in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, but specifically Warwick, a credit union, and Bristol and Westerly, the ATMs, and they nestled about maybe $300,000, netted about $300,000 from this scam. So the Providence Journal's, reporting the story, and it starts off with group of Romanian nationals living on West Coast are accused of planting skimming devices on local banks' ATM and self-checkouts, right? So when you hear Romanian nationals, what do you think?
It's sounding like, okay, they took the flight the way they were supposed to. They had the little green card, and then they are on a green card. That's what it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's what it sounded like to me. Then you get to the very end after they name all the scamming that they've done here in Rhode Island and Massachusetts and like in Johnston and Warwick. You get to the very end and it says all of the participants are here illegally. So they have Romanian.
Allegedly illegally.
Did they say? I don't think they said
They did.
allegedly. They did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I went to something else. So, oh yeah, the FBI or federal agents are saying that they're allegedly illegal. But what you started the story off, I mean, it's a little paragraph, but
So
I feel like
flowery.
if
It
they
would
were
have been
from Haiti,
it would have
but
been migrants right at the top with the
or
first glint in bold.
illegal immigrants, whether it was
Uh-huh.
alleged or not, they would have said illegal, period. But to start it off because they are from what? Western Europe, it is group of Romanian nationals.
We Eastern Europe,
Yeah, it's like what? It's like yeah, what did I say? I,
Western.
oh, Western Europe. Okay. Eastern
No
West.
one, no one ever references Western Europe because Western Europe is the bougie side. They only reference Eastern Europe because that's where it starts to get a little sketch.
Oh
You
yeah,
start getting
isn't
no,
that like
shout outs to my Eastern Europeans, but when
mhm.
that's just like North Providence and Providence to me. It's Europe. Why are we doing this? Eastern Europeans. But anyway, the Eastern European people.
The Eastern? Okay. Well, wherever. They're European. And they're
They
not
are.
they're not from the supposedly shithole countries of like Africa or Haiti or Jamaica, which where the brown people are. So
Is it
they
okay to say gypsies? Because the pictures were given gypsies.
um I think that they didn't say gypsies,
No, they didn't.
but
I said it.
in France that's a big thing. You hear
Yeah.
about gypsies all the time. I don't know so much about Romania, or I mean, but then some came from Germany as well. There was a couple that were German,
The
national.
picture was given gypsies. So they may have, so they also had California addresses. Like, I think
Mhm,
that they were living in those places, and maybe that's where their ID, if that's even their
mhm,
ID, is from. But it's giving that they are squarely from Romania. And
mhm.
that's why they said Romanian nationals. Like, as much as they traveled all around the world, these people, they probably were able to trace back that they were actually born in Romania. But they have like those
But there's a couple that was
Mediterranean.
German nationals too.
Well, they
There's
have those
two of them men.
Mediterranean features. Like, did you see the picture that
Well, I
they?
saw a picture of two,
Three of them. There was three. It was a woman and two men,
and two guys.
and they had that dark
But the
hair.
list of them is much longer, so
Oh
there's
yeah,
much
so
more
then it could
involved in
be.
it. So those are the only pictures that I saw, and there were a couple on the list of the scammers that were had German nationalists.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. The fact is that they were they are not labeled the typical what we would consider the typical, illegal immigrants, the ones that everybody is like screaming all about, and they're taking all our jobs, all our black jobs or whatever. They're here and now here scamming over $300,000.
They took Nana's life savings and they
Yeah,
did
they
a
did.
lot of this. I think some of it happened in December, which is one of those times when you might not check your credit card statements that hard. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, and
That's
it
the
was at
scam time.
self checkout. So now it's making me say I don't want to go to self checkout anymore.
Girl, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it was the self-checkout at the Warwick Walmart. So, and I didn't even think of it like when you do the self-checkouts, you're putting your information, whereas opposed to you going to the register and they have to do it. So it's less likely to get, scammed, but you doing it yourself.
Well, so here's the thing with if there's a person, so self checkout, there's usually one person if they're even standing over there
Mm-hmm.
monitoring those. So what they're doing is they're attaching a device to the device. That's why it's so like rampant at gas stations and it happens so
Mm-hmm.
much because no one's standing out there watching them add this to the machine. So, but when you go to an actual person to check you out, in order for them to tamper with that device, they would have to do it right in the cashier's
In front of,
face.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
So,
okay, but they got the little, and we're gonna get into our friends S&S. But at some supermarkets, they got this machine following you all around the store, and if you guys know what I'm talking about. Got some big old eyeballs on it, which is some stupidity. Like, why have you do? Are you guys not seeing that this tomfoolery is going on with these devices? You got that, you got the two-way mirror. Every supermarket, if you look inside, there's two levels to the store. You probably only navigate that first level because you're a patron, you're buying your food. But almost every supermarket has a second level to it, like a mezzanine or a second floor. And that's where they're watching your behind. So why are they not watching these
oh, you
people?
mean, oh, like at the top? Oh,
The
yeah. Yeah, you
tower.
see
Yeah, they
it.
have like a
Yeah.
tower. And
Mm-hmm.
that glass, if you ever go into like an old school CVS, that glass mirror at the top, that was an office where they were watching you.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that. I still see that. I mean, you see that at the Stop and Shop in Providence. They have
Mm-hmm.
upstairs and the one in on North Providence as well. So I get it. And you're not going to catch everything. You're just not. It's like too many people to be watching. You're not going to catch everything, but we do just have to be a little bit more diligent. I know where like I was in Walmart just the other day, the one in Providence, one cashier, and the self-checkout was like basically around the block
Mm-hmm. Because
because
they don't want to
people
pay. They don't want to pay
one
people.
cashier and then one person came on it so that it was actually two, and you're right 100%. So I have to one wait in this long line to ring up my stuff.
My uncle won't do it. My uncle's like, I refuse
I
to
don't blame him.
pay
I don't
and
blame
then I'm doing the job. You're gonna do the job. My uncle will not patronize
him.
a self-checkout, period.
I don't blame him. And I've gotten to the point where I feel like I'm going to stop because it is taking away people's jobs, one. But Walmart seems to be the most egregious with it because when you
Mm-hmm.
go into a Target, like I was in a Target earlier today, today's Sunday, was in a Target earlier today, there were about 5 or 6 cashiers working, and then you had the self-checkout. It was still busy, and it was
Mm-hmm.
still a line for all of them, but when I usually go into a Target, there are usually at least 5 cashiers on a busy day. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And then you have the self-checkout. You go into Walmart on a very busy day, and it's still just one or two.
And there are a few places that do not have self-checkout at all. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with waiting in a small line.
Mhm.
But in particular, I'm talking about like Market
Market
Basket. Market
basket.
Basket, they don't have a self-checkout. They don't have a employee, like not an employee, they don't have a discount card. It's just low prices and a cashier on every register. And you know what? I'm okay with it being OG and old school. up in there.
Well, speaking of Market Basket, Stop and Shop announced that they're closing a few stores. They were supposed to be they're closing 38 in our region.
Mm.
Only one and one of the stores that they've bought out are closing. So the one in Johnston, where the new Market Basket opened a couple of years ago,
And it
and
is so lit.
the East Side Market, which is in on the East Side, which I don't go to anyway, those two are closing, and they're supposed to be closing either on or before November 1st. Now they said they didn't say that they were closing because of, Market Basket, but Stop and Shop for the last, I'm gonna say the last 15 years has been slowly pricing itself out.
Hmm.
They
I
are
agree.
expensive.
They are high, and of course they have the occasional deals. But so I'll tell you my issue with this particular chain, because that used to be my predominant preferred
Me
supermarket.
too.
Like clockwork, 2 3 times a week, 2 3 times a week. I noticed for myself during the pandemic,
Oh,
kind of
really?
the tables turning. So price gouging, and I know supply and demand was like wonky during the pandemic, so I understand maybe you had to do that for a short period, but you
But we
never
also have
recalibrate.
learned that they didn't have to do that.
Well, that
A
part too.
lot of businesses didn't have to do that.
I
They
went in
chose.
there, and during the pandemic, I want to say it was during the pandemic or like shortly thereafter, and I think a can of whipped cream was $7.
Ooh, yeah.
Make that make sense, which I did not purchase.
Yeah.
Make that make sense, especially for people who already have food insecurity. Like even if you had, a budget for groceries, and you're making decisions, and whipped cream is not a necessity, but why should that be 4 times the price that I'm used to paying for it? $2 is what I'm used to paying for a can of whipped cream. Like two, even if you said $3.50, okay, you
Mhm.
got me. I'll bite. $7 for a can of whipped
Four
cream.
dollars would be my limit. Four
That's
dollars would
crazy.
be my limit.
I mean, cold cuts off the hook. Cold cuts are like $16 a pound, $14 a pound, $12 a pound. Like the lowest I think I've seen is $10, $11 a pound for certain types of cold cuts. Like for
Oh,
what?
they playing games. Thumbs up. I don't know why that came up. But no, so for me, you said COVID. I stopped shopping at Stop and Shop like at least 15 years ago. Because
Mm.
one of the things I noticed because I'm a Shaw's person's not right around the corner for me basically. So Shaw's would be expensive for like a year. And I'm like, I'm not doing Shaw's. And Stop and Shop was the lower price items. Then all of a sudden it was Shaw's had the lower price items, and they would kind of go back and forth. And it would be like a whole year that this is what I'm noticing. And then all of a sudden, Stop and Shop just got, very expensive. And I
I,
thought that they would come back down, and they never did. And that for me was like 15 years ago. I have not been in a Shaw's for at least, I mean, in a Stop and Shop for 15 years.
Dang, sis. So here's what I think is happening. So I noticed that there are patterns with any
Mhm.
type of, because I was raised a bargain shopper. Like my mother had me when as soon as I could hold like real scissors, I was cutting coupons. Like my mom did not play. My mom is a thrifty
Mhm.
saver. Okay. So it was couponing and double couponing, and we're gonna read the flyers, and this is on sale this week, and the sales run from, Thursday to Friday to Thursday. Like I know I am a bargain shopper, so I know how to get a deal. I think, you can almost set your clock to, okay, Friendly's ice cream is going to be on sale every 4 weeks. It's cyclical in all the supermarkets, and then there's like, I think that they have like, certain deals. So maybe this week it's Friendly's at Stop and Shop, next week it's going to be at Shaw's,
Mhm. Mhm.
whatever. But I think what's also happening with Stop and Shop is that they're leaning heavily into their digital aspects. So they took out all the printed coupons. They no longer allow you to, like, you don't cut coupons out of their
Mhm.
circular anymore. It's all
Mhm.
supposed to be loaded onto that card, right? Or your phone number, what have you. This has actually become a big problem for people in the digital divide, the elderly and people who are not tech savvy. So in
Mhm.
order to even save money in their stores, like if you want that 2 for $5, we ain't even 2 for $5. That's not even a thing anymore. 2 for $7 boxes of cereal. You have to add that digital thing to your account profile through your phone, yada yada yada. And it's like, what are you doing here? Like, in order to be able to afford food, you have to sign your personal information over to them, and then they're also trying to keep up with the Joneses and doing these remodels on the stores. So you may have noticed, well, you haven't noticed because you ain't been in there, but Stop and Shop did this whole marketing thing where they're using a lot of black. They're trying to look sleek and modern and edgy in there. Yeah, but and they got that fool on wheels running around the supermarket following you. The robot thing with the eyeballs on it. So
So what's
this
the
is what
purpose of the robot? Is it like there to assist you
I
with?
think it's loss prevention. So it,
Okay.
it goes around talking to you. And
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh, and occasionally it might identify like there's a spill or something. But
Mhm.
I believe that robot is to go around and see what people are doing and film you in the store doing things.
Yeah, I agree. Probably I haven't seen it. I mean I have seen that in the Providence store because that was the one I used to go to all the time. Used to love it. The
Hmm.
one over there, what is that, Branch Ave or whatever? Used to love
Hmm.
that one. And again, like I said, 15 years. And I agree with you that things go in cycles, and that's why I was shocked when Stop and Shop didn't come back around. And then,
Hmm.
because Shaw's was, remember Shaw's was what, Star Market?
Yeah, and they
Those
still have
two?
some star markets
Yeah.
too.
So, I was surprised because, Star Market wasn't that cheap in Boston. That was, it was much more expensive
So
than
we have two near us when we lived
Stop
in
and Shop.
Boston, like almost equal distance. We had a Shaw's and we had a Stop and Shop. So I kind of went with whoever had the better deals that
Mhm.
week. But my preferred, so actually growing up,
Mhm.
legit, our preferred stores were the Star Market in the Fenway. We
Mhm.
would go there, and then
I
the
love that
Stop and
one too.
Shop in
Mhm.
Symphony Hall. Those were
Mhm.
like the two stores my mom would patronize, but we didn't really shop for food anywhere else. I love the fact that I got options because sis be at Dave's, okay? Sis be at Market Basket. Market Basket actually probably has and Aldi, which I used to really turn my nose up
Love.
at. I've
You
I've
really did,
have
ma'am.
a
You really
newfound I've got
did.
a newfound appreciation for all these. But even like if you go in a price right, they're getting froggy with their prices.
I haven't been to, I have been in Price Right because a couple of my coworkers, shout out to Kat, was like, you gotta go and you gotta try it. And I did. And I went to the one over here off near Sim Street. Really liked it. It was huge. They
Is it
redid
the one on
everything.
Valley?
Yeah, Valley, I'm sorry. They redid it and liked it. But because I've already been to Market Basket because I'm like you. I go to Market Basket quite often, at least, once a week. So I go to Market Basket and I go to Aldi's. Those are the two stores that I shop at. And occasionally I might hit a meat or a fish market. But
Hmm.
those are the two that I go to. And so I forget about Price Right. And there's one right in Johnston, which is not too far from the Market Basket either, but you think they're getting expensive too?
They definitely are. I saw like a bag of potato chips for like $4, which to me that's high
Was
at
it the
price
family
right.
size? Because
It
I feel like,
wasn't. It was like a regular bag of. I mean, it was a big bag.
but
But
not the family,
when
not
you
the
go to
big.
Price Right, used to be like you would just go off up in Price Right. Like you could really get a lot for your budget at Price Right. Now they're starting to like catch up to their, to the Stop and Shops and the Shaws of the world. And
Mhm,
Dave's, while it's not always the least expensive, quality wise, I find Dave's to be like amazing quality.
mhm.
Their
Especially your fruits and vegetables.
their fruits and vegetables, their produce section is fire. And actually
Mhm,
Shaw's usually has a good produce section too.
mhm.
But Dave's, when they do have certain sales, they have pretty good sales. So like I said, like I bargain shop and I look at prices and I try to get the best possible deal. There's certain things that you can guarantee are going to be reduced price, but I mean, it's at the point now where I do agree with you. Like, unless Stop and Shop makes some changes, they're gonna probably have to continue to close down stores
Mhm.
because I definitely, where I used to go every week, multiple times a week, I maybe go to Stop and Shop every 2 months, if that.
Yeah, and I don't go at all because I don't. I think one time it was funny because I went to go get us some pizza. So I was like, "Oh, we need some juice. Let me go. Let me." And it was on the way home. So I'm like, I get the pizza and then I stop at Stop and Shop on Mineral to get some juice. And I was gonna get ice cream. And when I saw that juice was like $8.
But that's what they're doing to make
What?
it seem like when they do their, so it was $8. So now they're gonna, next week they're gonna say it's 2 for $5. I mean 2 for $10, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, it's only $5. When $5 is too daggone much. But that's what
Mhm.
they're doing. And there are other stores that are doing this, and I feel like CVS is going in the same direction. I know you love CVS and you find really good deals over there.
Yeah.
I used to work for them. I used
Mhm.
to work for them, so I know how often they go up on pricing. And
Oh no, they
shout out.
are definitely getting Actually, I do the surveys all the time.
Hmm.
And they sent a survey for the Mineral Spring one, which I love because I find it always neat and clean in there. The service is always on point, but I was getting off spray. And I forget how much it was, but I felt like it was really priced out. I ended up getting it only because I had like the CVS bucks and it was like I had $14. So, but and still, even though I had $14 and I didn't have anything coming out of pocket, it's still, if I had to go in there and buy it out of pocket, I would have said, you know what, I'll just go to Walmart to get it
But
because
this is
Walmart
why
really spaced it out.
everything's under lock and key at CVS. Like literally everything is locked down because people have to steal it to be able to afford
Not
it.
at my CVS. I hate stores like that, and I will not shop at stores like that.
So a lot of CVSs do have that, and maybe it's the community Walmarts do have some of that stuff too, like the little sliding grid. But the thing with me, and again, CVS, I know that you have provided for my family. You continue to provide because my son is an employee, but the prices can be a
And that's what
little
I
too
said in the
aggressive.
survey. I did say in the survey, I'm like, I love my store. I love the people that work there, but you all are getting a little ridiculous with the pricing.
It's too much. Like when I go and look at the prices, I only will buy usually things that are on sale at
Mhm.
CVS.
Yeah, their
And
sales are good.
but when things are not on sale, it's
Mm.
crazy. Toothpaste, and now we sound like the old timers. Toothpaste used to be like two for $4. Why is toothpaste two for $10?
Yeah, I get all my vitamins there because I can get like, $40 worth of vitamins or, $50 worth of vitamins and come out of pocket and only spend like, $8.
Yeah, because you got the CVS
I
receipt.
got
They're
the
known for their
CVS
long
and
receipt.
buy one get one free or buy one get one 50% off. You always gonna make do with, buying your vitamins from there. So that's why I do kind of go there. But no, you are 100% right. They are getting outrageous with the pricing and they just need to stop. Now, I used to go to Walgreens all the time because Walgreens was so much cheaper than
Hmm.
CVS. And they start getting crazy. I'll just walk my behind over to Walgreens because it's around the corner.
I just get everything at Target or Walmart at this point. I'm like, there's literally no reason for me to go to CVS unless I need my prescription.
Yeah, well, you know me, I'm there every couple of weeks getting
And
prescription.
I, for
I
some
like
reason,
going
when
to
I
CVS.
go to the one
I
on
love going to
Mineral,
CVS. I don't know
when
why.
I, the last time, every time I go to the one on Mineral, it's something wild happens. So I stopped going
Yeah, you
inside.
hate that one. Are you?
But I love their 24-hour drive through. Shout outs to the 24-hour drive through employees at Mineral
They
Springs.
have great. They have really good employees. I mean, it's very rare that you'll go in and they're just like
And
it
so
makes you up really badly. It's like the energy is usually pretty good.
as much as we complained, and I say we collectively, about Dollar Tree going up to $1.25, almost anything I need out of CVS I can get at Dollar Tree.
I like Dollar Tree. I didn't really complain about the $1.25. I thought it was funny. I'm like, God damn, come on. But like when I have office events or something like that, that is my go-to place.
Now,
All
when
the
they
little
if they
arrangements.
start getting if they start getting crazy with their prices, I'm gonna be really mad because that is like my go-to. I mean, I even like dishwashing liquid at this point, and they have actually started a $5 aisle at the Dollar Tree, so
Yeah.
they're already trying it.
Yeah, I've only seen it in one store though, and that was the one in Johnston. I haven't seen it at the one near me.
East Providence has one.
Okay. All right. I haven't been to that one, and I don't think I haven't been to that one, but I've seen it at the one in Johnston. But
Yeah,
that's crazy. So I don't know. Stop and shop.
get it
Rethink
together.
what you're doing. Get it together. Rethink what you're doing. So this week, as we're about to kind of close out, there have been quite a few deaths. You know,
It's been a lot. There's
it's
been a
been
spate of them.
a lot, and there was a very prominent local person that you mentioned, Cedric. What's his last name?
Cedric Huntley.
Huntley.
Yeah.
And he used to work at the Met when my kids were in going to the Met years ago. That was about maybe what, 20 years ago now, I think, 15, 20 years ago. And he was, very nice guy. It's very sad to hear because I think he was only like what, 61? So
He was
not,
pretty young.
yeah, pretty
And a lot of people around Providence, especially people of color, have really,
especially young
felt
people.
this. Young people, because he worked in the schools. He For
Mhm.
20 years he was the executive director of a nonviolence coalition, and he was also like a civilian liaison between the police. So, like, speaking about the police needing to have this human connection with people, the fact that he was so beloved among the young people
Mhm.
means that to me, that when he would go into the police department, I'm hoping with all my heart that he was bringing that humanity and that humility into the police department. So that's a major loss. Rhode Island does have some issues with violence in the community, gun violence and things
Mhm.
like that. I mean, I think every major city kind of
Yeah.
has a violent streak. Right now, Boston's going through a really bad situation with the violence amongst young people. So to lose someone who's like a pioneer here in Providence, who was really working towards those efforts, and I know many other people are there, but who will fill those shoes?
Mhm.
That's the thing. So rest in peace, Mr. Huntley.
Yeah, rest in peace, sir. And over the weekend, there were four that really kind of, if you're an 80s child, you knew all four of these people, 80s and
Mm-hmm.
90s. So Shannon Doherty from Beverly Hills.
90210.
Well,
Brenda was a bitch on
I never watched that
90210.
show.
You
I never,
never did?
never watched it.
I
I was a
wouldn't.
big fan of her in Charmed, but I didn't watch Beverly Hills.
Okay, her best thing ever,
Mhm.
Heathers.
Yeah, Heather's was good. I really like
Heathers.
Heather's. Okay. I didn't
And
know.
for those who don't know what Heathers is, it was a movie. I don't even, I guess it's probably streaming somewhere, but I had to rent it and watch it.
You had to rewatch it, or you
No,
mean?
I had to rent it when I originally watched it, and
Oh,
I
okay.
rented it multiple times because
Hmm.
Heathers, that was a wild movie. You hear me?
Yeah, that
A
was good.
wild film.
Who's Christian
Christian Slater.
Christian Slater was the guy in that. Yeah, I forgot
Mm-hmm.
that she was in that. So she passed away, yeah, breast cancer, 40. No, no, she was 51.
Yeah.
51. So that's young. Richard Simmons passed away this weekend.
And
Dr.
it was like
Dre.
a day after his birthday.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rest in peace.
Come on, those exercise
And
videos.
those shorts. He was known for not only his exercises, but his like
Short shorts.
optimism, his short shorts, and his he would do the layering. So he was the one that taught us, okay, let's layer these tank tops up. We're gonna
Mhm,
do a muscle shirt with the
mhm,
tank top over it and a little headband and an afro.
Yep, he was. He was. Yeah, that's sad. Dr. Ruth
Dr. Ruth
was
Westheimer.
such
Like, if you don't,
a
some people might not know who this queen was, but she was the one that was giving the sex education to the girlies because we didn't have the internet. Okay, all we had was Cosmo magazine and Dr. Ruth when we were
and
growing
she
up.
was on all the talk shows.
And she was
Oh,
like
talk
the
show.
least person you would expect to be a
She was
sex
like three
expert.
feet tall.
She was Lilliputian, and she was not like she didn't have she looked like your grandma or your auntie. She
Mm,
didn't look like the person that was going to be dropping gems on you about sexual health and women's sexual awakenings and things like that. She was talking orgasm, she was talking some wild stuff back in the
mm,
day that people weren't talking about. Right now that stuff is like mainstream. All the things that we see on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, like she Dr. Ruth was exploring those things in the 80s when that was taboo stuff that
yeah.
people weren't really talking about.
She brought it to the forefront.
Yes,
And
she
then the
did.
last one was Shelley Duvall
Yes, olive oil.
in The Shining. I forget what her name was in The Shining, but that was my movie. Yeah, I was really sad to hear about her passing. She was like 63? No, 75. She was 75. 75, but she had been, falling on like really rough times. Died pretty much so penniless. So that was kind of, sad. But those were like
Yeah.
all the people, like four different people from the 80s and early 90s that, really made up a lot of, Gen X's childhood.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So that like hits when you see and so many in such close proximity.
Yeah,
It was
short
just
amount of
kind
time.
of
Over the
wild.
weekend.
Yeah, and Dr. Ruth was like in her 90s, if not 100 years
Yeah,
old. So she had a good
lived.
run. You
She
know what I mean? But some of the others, it's just like, wow, Shannon's already gone too soon for sure. She's been battling cancer for
yeah, for
years
a
though.
long
This woman, she fought the good fight with her cancer. So hopefully she's no more suffering for
yeah,
her.
that's really sad. So, and yeah, so that was the weekend. Anything else happened this weekend?
Something happened yesterday.
What happened?
Well, I mean, what I had heard is
What
that,
you heard? What did you hear, ma'am?
and I don't condone unprovoked violence, but apparently, according to CNN, the presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump, was injured giving a campaign speech yesterday.
Yeah, I heard he
Did
was.
you hear anything about that?
I heard that he fell and cut his ear. Did he cut his ear on some glass or something?
I I
But
don't know
this
the
goes
percent.
back. I don't know exactly what went down, but I will say this. We need gun reform, period. I don't care if you are in school or if you're at a grocery store or if you are at a rally. You should be able to go outside of your house and converse with other people and be with other people without worrying about somebody trying to shoot someone. Period. That's all I
Precisely.
gotta say.
Yeah. I don't have
Gun
much to say
reform.
about it either. I mean, my thing is like, not only did, so there's a lot of speculation. Is this real? Is this fake? I don't know if it's real or if it's fake. I
Is a
know
con man. We know. We
I
know.
know
It
what
has been
I know
proven
what they've
time and
showed
again.
me. I
He's a con.
know what they've showed us, in the media. I know what they've shown us in the media. And allegedly somebody was saying, "Hey, I see a shooter. This person has a weapon." And if that's the case, like, let's just assume this is what happened. Why is it that the police are not, first of all, securing that perimeter for our presidential candidates, no matter what side of the spectrum they're on? Why is someone allowed to get? And the building wasn't even that high. It's like what, a few stories high. They could see the man with their eyeballs from the ground.
I have not watched the news, so I don't know all the details. I'm not watching the news
But I
because
will tell you, that's the luckiest SOB in the world.
you think it's lucky or planned.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna go into it. Gun reform.
I
People should
like
go
it.
whether you're at
Gun
a
reform.
if you're at a rally, if you're at a school, if you're at a church, if
If
you're
you're
at
at
a
the
grocery
mall,
store,
shouldn't have to deal
if
with it.
you're partying and at a concert, you should not have to worry about being shot. Period.
Right.
So that's
especially
all I gotta say.
by
A
what is
20-year-old kid.
with a weapon with a scope on it that can shoot you from two
Why are you
blocks
walking
away.
around with that? Yeah, so that's my thing. Do something about that. Do something about that. Till then, thoughts and prayers. Anything else?
And just get over it. Just like you told the other people to get over it when the school shootings happened. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Is that it? I think that's it
Ah,
for us.
da
Are we
da 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 da.
we
I
listed
think
all the
that's it.
events coming up. I mean, Charlene's event is Tuesday, and that
And
is
it's
the
free, people. It costs you
Mhm.
nothing but love. Show up
From
with your love.
what
Come
is it,
through
6 to 10? 6 to 10 to see these,
seven,
artists. Is it 7?
7 to 10.
7 to 10? Okay. All right. So don't show up at 6.
You can show up at 6. It
I
ain't
because
starting till 7.
yeah, you can show up and be in the parking lot, but it's gonna be
It's at the
100
brewery. You
degrees
might be able
tomorrow.
to get a couple of beers. Tip your servers. I mean,
Yeah, what's the name of the event again? It's called
it's called the Artist Loft
the
by the
Artist.
Collaborative.
So that's on
And
Tuesday.
it's what I love about it is that it's featuring like artists who are emerging as well as some high school students, and it's really going to be a showcase. It's a mix of like well-known artists in the community like Black Sabbath, but then up and coming and emerging artists as well. So
Not
and
gonna
then
be in this one. Remember, she
Oh,
said
Black
like
Sabbath is
next.
that's going to be the next one. Clarice, rather. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Clarice, who's also an amazing poet, is going to be there. And so these are these types of events. She's doing this for the community. She's doing this to kind of like aid the renaissance that's happening in Rhode Island. I don't think a lot of people realize there's like a really beautiful renaissance of artists that's happening right now. So
Mm-hmm.
come be a part of it. Come check it out.
All right. So until next time.
Until then,
We will see you next week. Enjoy your very hot week because Monday, today, when this will be airing, Monday and Tuesday are supposed to be dangerously high days where a heat index of like 105, and they're saying, I wish I could just stay home
hydrate, hydrate,
hydrate,
hydrate.
and not do anything, but I will be in the office tomorrow. But yes, stay safe.
Until then.